If you're on the twin flame path, you may be standing in a space that feels confusing, heavy, or painfully quiet. You've done the healing, you've released the chasing, you've anchored your self-worth. And yet right before what you sense should be reunion, everything feels tested. You may be asking yourself, why now? Why does it feel like I'm being challenged just when I thought I was ready? This is the moment many twin flames misunderstand and misread. Doubt creeps in. Old triggers knock softly. The mind searches for reassurance while the soul knows something profound is unfolding. This tension is not a setback, it is a threshold. In today's video, we reveal what is truly happening in the sacred moment before full union. You'll understand why the divine masculine steps forward at this stage, not to withdraw, not to confuse, but to test. This is not a test of love, it is a test of embodiment. Can the divine feminine remain steady, self-held, and sovereign when the energy intensifies? Can she hold love without attachment, presence without anxiety, truth without compromise? We'll break down what this testing phase looks like, energetically, emotionally, and spiritually, and how to recognize it without falling back into old cycles. By the end of this video, you will no longer fear this phase, you will recognize it. You will understand why, from 2024 onward, full union is no longer about coming together and falling apart. It is constant, it is stable, it is lived. Full union now means building together, living together, creating together, and ascending together in real life, not just in theory or longing. This video will help you anchor your energy, complete your preparation, and step into the version of yourself that can sustain union without collapse or contraction. If you felt the pressure rising, it's because something real is forming. Stay with us. This message may be the clarity your soul has been waiting for. Section 1. Why the divine masculine tests before reunion. Before full reunification takes place, the divine masculine enters a very precise and intentional phase 1 that is often misunderstood. What unfolds here is not punishment, not manipulation, and certainly not a withdrawal of love. It is a final energetic assessment, a soul-level consciousness check that determines whether true union can be sustained in reality, not just desired in the heart. At this stage, the divine masculine does not come forward to destabilize the connection. He comes forward to observe. He is sensing whether the divine feminine's energy is genuinely solid, anchored within herself rather than anchored to him. He is feeling for inner consolidation, for a frequency that is no longer dependent, reactive, or externally regulated. What matters now is not emotion, longing, or spiritual language, but energetic integrity. This testing often appears subtle. He may gently press against her energetic field, lightly activating old patterns or points of sensitivity. This is not done to create conflict or provoke pain. It is done to see whether she can hold her frequency, whether she can remain grounded without collapsing into fear, chasing, doubt, or emotional volatility. The test is not about perfection. It is about stability. At its core, the question is remarkably simple. Can she remain steady when nothing is being reassured? Can she stay in love without grasping? Can she remain in flow without control? This is where many misunderstand the process. The divine masculine is not measuring devotion to him. He is measuring devotion to self, emotional sovereignty, nervous system regulation, and energetic maturity. Full union requires two whole beings, not two people seeking completion through each other. At this level, the twin flame connection is meant to exist in a constant state of divine love and divine light, not fluctuating, not cyclical, not destabilizing. It becomes a space of deep trust rather than anticipation, surrender rather than effort, and inner stability rather than emotional intensity. When this state is achieved, union is no longer something that happens to the divine feminine. It is something she is already living within herself, and that is precisely what makes true reunion possible. Before we move into the next part of this journey, take a quiet moment to feel into what was just shared. Notice where this message resonates within you, and where it may challenge old expectations about love, union, and readiness. Ask yourself honestly, can I remain stable, loving, and grounded even when nothing is being confirmed or mirrored back to me? This reflection is not meant to judge you, but to deepen your awareness. If something stirred within you, clarity, resistance, recognition, or release, I invite you to share it in the comments below. And if words feel unnecessary right now, simply type, "I am anchored within myself." Your reflection anchors the lesson, and your voice becomes part of this collective field as we move forward into the next phase of understanding. Section 2. The energetic signs of readiness. The divine masculine does not recognize readiness through promises, explanations, or emotional declarations. He senses it through frequency. Through the unspoken language of energy, he feels whether the divine feminine has truly arrived within herself. This knowing does not come from conversation. It comes from resonance, from the way her presence feels when she enters a space, from the stability of her inner field, and from the absence of chaos where turbulence once lived. Readiness is revealed when her energy is rooted in constant love rather than emotional fluctuation. She no longer swings between hope and fear, attachment and withdrawal. Instead, she moves with a steady, grounded flow. There is ease in her responses, softness without weakness, and strength without force. Resistance has dissolved from her field. She is no longer fighting the connection, the timing, or herself. Life moves through her rather than against her. Negativity no longer gains entry into her energetic space. This does not mean she avoids challenges or pain, but that she no longer absorbs what does not belong to her. Emotional hooks, projections, and unresolved wounds from others simply fail to attach. Her boundaries are clear, calm, and unwavering. She does not defend them loudly, nor does she explain them endlessly. They exist naturally, held by self-respect rather than fear of loss. Most importantly, she is thriving within herself. Her fulfillment is no longer postponed for reunion, validation, or external confirmation. She is creating, expanding, and living from her own center. Her joy is self-generated. Her sense of purpose is active, not theoretical. She is no longer waiting to be chosen. She has already chosen herself. This is the divine feminine who creates through instant manifestation portals. Her thoughts, emotions, and actions are aligned, allowing energy to move quickly and cleanly through her reality. She is grounded in self-love, not as a concept, but as a lived frequency. Her purpose is no longer something she searches for. It is something she embodies. She carries her light without effort, without apology, and without needing it to be mirrored back to feel real. When the divine masculine encounters this frequency, he does not question it. He feels it immediately. There is no confusion, no hesitation, no need to test further. Her energy signals safety, stability, and truth. In that moment, he knows that entry is possible not as an escape, not as a fantasy, but as a grounded, lived union. He knows he can enter because she is no longer waiting at the door. She is already home. Section 3. Why union cannot happen too soon. Twin flames cannot reunite before the energetic work is complete, because union is not merely an emotional event or a romantic milestone. It is a precise, energetic convergence. When reunion occurs before both beings are fully prepared, the connection does not stabilize, it overloads. The result is not harmony, but collapse. If reunion happens too early, the circuits burn. This is because the divine masculine and divine feminine carry fundamentally different but complementary energetic charges. The divine masculine holds electrical energy direct, activating, penetrating, and expansive. The divine feminine holds magnetic energy receptive, sustaining, grounding, and amplifying. These forces are designed to weave together, but only when they are balanced, regulated, and self-contained. If his electrical force enters her field before her system is fully anchored, regulated, and sovereign, her nervous system burns out. She becomes overwhelmed, depleted, emotionally flooded, or physically exhausted. The intensity feels unbearable rather than nourishing. What was meant to be love becomes overstimulation. If her magnetic field engages him before his electrical grid is stable, integrated, and conscious, he short-circuits. He experiences confusion, withdrawal, avoidance, or sudden shutdown. The pull feels too strong, too consuming, too destabilizing for an undeveloped system to hold. Instead of grounding him, it fragments him. This is why the testing phase exists. It is not punishment. It is not rejection. It is not personal. It is energetic intelligence at work. The soul itself initiates these tests to determine whether both systems can now coexist without damage. The connection is examined at every level, not only emotionally, but sexually, spiritually, energetically, and wisely. Sexual energy must circulate without obsession or depletion. Spiritual energy must expand without bypassing reality. Emotional energy must flow without triggering old wounds. Wisdom must be present to guide power, not be overwhelmed by it. The soul checks whether electricity can move through magnetism without burning it. The soul checks whether magnetism can hold electricity without collapsing it. Only when both forces are harmonized within themselves can they harmonize with each other. Full reunion is not about intensity, it is about coherence. Not about desire, but about capacity. Not about longing, but about readiness. True union occurs when both the electrical and magnetic forces are no longer seeking completion from each other, but meeting as whole, regulated, self-sustaining systems. Only then can they weave together without destruction. Only then does union become stable, embodied, and lived, rather than brief, explosive, and unsustainable. Imagine two powerful forces meeting before they are ready to contain one another. Picture a high-voltage current suddenly rushing into a system that has not yet been grounded. The result is not illumination, but sparks, heat, and eventual damage. In the twin flame dynamic, this often looks like an intense reunion that feels euphoric at first, magnetic attraction, overwhelming desire, and a sense of destiny, followed by emotional exhaustion, conflict, withdrawal, or sudden separation. The divine feminine may feel drained, anxious, or physically unwell, sensing that the connection consumes more than it sustains. At the same time, the divine masculine may feel pressured, destabilized, or compelled to retreat, not because love is absent, but because his internal system cannot yet hold the magnitude of what is being activated. This is not failure, it is feedback. Just as a power grid must be reinforced before carrying greater voltage, both souls must first learn to regulate their own energy, emotions, and nervous systems. When each becomes stable within themselves, the same connection that once overwhelmed them transforms into a steady current, warm, life-giving, and safe to inhabit. Only then does union stop feeling explosive and begin to feel like home. Section 4. The final test and the power of boundaries. When the final test arrives, the guidance from the soul is unmistakably clear. Your boundaries must become stronger than they have ever been before. At this stage of the journey, strengthening boundaries can feel confusing, even contradictory. Many have been taught to associate boundaries with rejection, distance, or emotional withdrawal. But this moment is not about shutting love out. It is about refining what is allowed in. This is not rejection, it is discernment in its highest, most conscious form. The divine feminine is no longer learning how to love. She has already mastered that. What she is learning now is how to protect love, how to hold it within a field of integrity, self-respect, and inner authority. Boundaries at this level are not walls, they are sacred gates. If the divine masculine approaches carrying divine love, grounded integrity, emotional responsibility, and the embodied presence of a king, then the gate opens naturally. His energy aligns with her truth, and there is no internal conflict in allowing him closer. Entry is not forced, it is earned through resonance. But if he arrives fragmented, inconsistent, or asking her to bend herself out of shape, the response is no longer emotional confusion, it is a calm pause. In this phase, he may ask her to do things that are subtly or overtly misaligned with her path. He may pull at her time, her focus, or her energy in ways that draw her away from her purpose. He may request compromises that seem small on the surface, but carry the cost of self-betrayal underneath. This is where the test becomes real, not for him, but for her. The divine feminine must turn inward and ask herself with complete honesty, Am I leaving my post? Am I weakening my boundaries to maintain connection? Am I abandoning my truth in order to please, soothe, or appease? These questions are not asked in fear, they are asked in clarity. If the answer is yes, if even a part of her feels she is stepping away from her soul's alignment, then union does not collapse. It simply pauses, because true union cannot be built on self-abandonment. It can only form where both souls stand, fully anchored in truth. This final test is not about endurance or sacrifice. It is about sovereignty. The moment the divine feminine chooses herself without guilt, without explanation, and without resistance, the energetic field stabilizes. Only from that place can union move forward clean, conscious, and lasting. If you've made it this far, pause for a moment and feel what has shifted inside you. This part of the journey is not about information anymore, it's about recognition. Something within you already knows whether you have been holding your post or quietly stepping away from it. Take a breath and reflect on what resonated most, what challenged you, and where you feel called to stand more firmly in your truth. If you feel guided, share your story in the comments. Your experience may be the confirmation someone else has been waiting for. And if words feel difficult right now, you can simply type this affirmation below. I honor my boundaries, and I do not abandon myself. Saying it, even silently, signals to the universe and to your own soul that you are ready to stand in alignment and allow what is meant for you to meet you there. Section 5. Queen Energy and the Gateway to Union. True union is never born from urgency, performance, or the need to be seen. It does not emerge through eagerness, people-pleasing, or the quiet hope that doing more will finally secure love. Union is not activated by chasing, adjusting, or reshaping oneself to fit another's expectations. These patterns belong to old timelines where love was negotiated, earned, or pursued. The gateway to real union opens only when those patterns dissolve. Union forms when the queen stands fully rooted in her authenticity, when she is no longer trying to convince, impress, or prove, when she is no longer bending her nature or diluting her truth to be chosen. She does not abandon her light to make someone comfortable. She does not shrink her presence to avoid intimidating others. She does not soften her standards out of fear of loss. Her worth is no longer a question she asks because it is a truth she lives. In this embodiment, she holds discernment as sacred. She no longer confuses compassion with access or love with tolerance of misalignment. Her boundaries become stronger than ever, not as walls, but as clarity. She doubles down on what feels clean, aligned, and true. She doubles down on her light, even when it requires patience, solitude, or walking alone for a season. She understands that preserving her frequency is more important than forcing connection. The Queen does not demand respect through explanation or argument. She does not negotiate her value or announce her standards repeatedly. Respect is commanded through embodiment, through how she moves, through what she allows and what she calmly declines, through her consistency, her self-trust, and her refusal to betray herself for temporary closeness. Her presence alone communicates, "This is who I am, and this is how I live." When the divine masculine witnesses this, when he truly sees her sovereignty rather than sensing availability, something shifts at a soul level. He recognizes stability. He recognizes power that does not chase or fluctuate. He recognizes a partner who is whole, self-sustained, and anchored in her own authority. This recognition does not arise from words or promises, but from energetic truth. It is here, in this moment of clear embodiment, that full unification activates, not because she waited, not because she tried harder, but because she became immovable in her truth. Queen energy is not preparation for union, it is the doorway itself. Full twin flame union is never something you earn by striving harder or proving your worth. It does not respond to effort, force, or endurance. It responds to alignment. It arrives when your inner world becomes stable enough, sovereign enough, and loving enough to sustain what union truly requires. This is why the divine masculine tests not to punish, delay, or confuse, but because union is permanent. Because what comes after union is not fantasy, not longing, and not another cycle of separation and desire. What comes next is real-life creation. It is living together, building together, growing together, and holding love in the everyday moments where truth must be embodied, not spoken. When the divine feminine stands fully anchored in herself, rooted in truth, grounded in self-love, unwavering in her boundaries, and radiant in her light, she no longer seeks union as something outside of herself. She becomes the frequency that can hold it. From that place, union does not need to be chased or negotiated. It recognizes her. It responds to her. It meets her naturally because the energetic door is already open. This is the mastery of the twin flame path. Not longing, not waiting, not performing, but becoming. And when you become the frequency of wholeness, stability, and embodied love, union arrives not as a reward, but as a reflection. If this message resonated with you, I invite you to leave a comment below with this exact quote. I choose alignment over chasing. Let it anchor your intention and declare your readiness. Remember to like this video, share it with someone walking the twin flame journey, and continue watching the video below for deeper guidance on holding the frequency that sustains true union.